What's going on, guys? Gingerbreadman77 here, coming at you 4K through the power of the Xbox One X. And today I'm bringing you my Magic Sorcerer build for the Dragonhold patch. I know it's a little late as far as the build video comes yet again, but you know how I am. I like to tweak things, play around with a couple of different things, and see what I like and see what fits. So just to make it real short and sweet, let's just hop into the character sheet real quick. Fully buffed up. A little dark version, boundless. Back bar resistances, 20k spell, 19k physical. Crit resistance isn't too bad. That recovery is where it's at though. 52k max magic on the back bar. Front bar, we're looking at 53k max magic, still 1850 mag recovery, and then that spell damage buff. I'll show you in the, see if I can post a picture of the spell of the stat sheets with continuous attack up. That'll go up to about 2500 spell damage, which is pretty juicy for a 53k max magic build. Into the gear, we are running double Destro. So the first set we have is Necropotence. I had Nirnhone. I was thinking about playing around with Infuse, but Nirnhone seems to be good overall because that extra spell damage goes well with your pets. Your tooltip on your Twilight is pretty high with double Destro on both bars being Nirnhone. Not ideal, but that's what I like to play. My second Destro staff is Defending. It's a Defending Ice Staff. When you have an Ice Staff equipped, you get increased resistances through the CP tree. And I just have an increased weapon and spell damage buff for the back bar to proc. And no, it helps out every once in a while, but you do what you will. Necropotence is great, obviously, because we're running a pet, so why not? Second set, Crafty Elfique, bread and butter. We're just running a high max magic build. If you couldn't tell already by the max stats, Crafty Elfique was obviously the second choice here. All in pen. I got a few infused pieces that I just haven't transmutated yet. And tri-stats would probably be best to put on all of these, but I'm just a little lazy. And have just some max magic on a few of these here. Shadow Wren is also going to increase our another pet, but it's also going to increase our mag recovery. Minor Maim to the enemy. It's great when you're outnumbered. It's great when you're just dueling. I think that the pet spawns quite frequently, and a little bit of damage that it adds to your build it helps out a lot too. Gold everything out too. Get the max magic stats that you need, and just boost pretty much your magic as high as you can get it to go. Necropotence jewelry, all gold, magic of recovery in all of them. They have purple glyphs on them. It should be 169, but 157 for all of them right now. All arcane, and then that is like the highest stat you can get for Necropotence. 3150 for the 5-piece bonus, and then 1096 in the 2, 3, and 4 pieces. And then poisons. I'm not running any poisons. You can run one on the back bar if you want to, but I like to proc that spell damage for when I do my rotation. Skills, we got Crystal Frags, Haunting Curse, Pet, Elemental Weapon, Streak, Ice Comet. Fully buffed in Cyrodiil with continuous attack. These frags hit for about, they're 15.9k tooltip, and then obviously that'll go up when you proc it for 33% more damage. Haunting Curse is about the same, 15.8, 9-ish. That Twilight, when you're inside a keep, an enemy keep, the tooltip, I hit a guard for like 38,000 burst heal. Now, even though that's on a guard, on yourself, that's still about 18 to 20,000, depending if you're running Interlight or not. But it's literally the most ridiculous burst heal I've ever had for Twilight. I love it. I would really not be too shocked if they nerfed this in the next patch, but hopefully they don't. Honestly, if they took away the damage, I'd be totally okay, because the damage really isn't anything. Keep the healing. If you're going to nerf it, just keep the healing. Take away the damage completely. I don't give a fuck about the damage. I need that heal, though, because this heal it's essential for the build. Elemental Weapon, you're always going to be applying the Burning, Concussion, or Chilled elemental status effect, which is super helpful for when you're timing your burst. Concussion, obviously, they take more damage. Burning or Chilled, they're going to be taking damage for as far as dots go. And then you set up your burst by hitting Haunting Curse, Streak, and then just hitting this until you proc a frag, and then boom, it all hits at one time. And then for back bar, we're doing Elemental Drain for our double Destro setup. This is going to help out a lot with your penetration. As you can see, 23 seconds gives you the 5280 spell resistance, reducing their spell resistance, which is it goes well with your CP tree, and I'll show that too. Hardened Ward. In Cyrodiil, this is a 13.8k Hardened Ward. If you substitute Elemental Drain, if you feel like your penetration and damage is okay, I put Inner Light here to boost my max magic even more, and crit for healing. This Hardened Ward will reach a 14k Hardened Ward, and it's pretty fat, not gonna lie. That Hardened Ward is your lifesaver, because you hit that, and then you hit your Twilight, and boom, good to go again. Rinse, repeat. Dark Conversion, 10k Dark Conversions with Inner Light on the bar. It's another fat heal. It's going to help you sustain all around, and then Boundless Storm for your maneuverability and your Major Resolve to help out with your resistances as well. Temporal Guard, I have the 8%. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like I said, it's really user preference. You can put something else here if you don't like Temporal Guard. I don't ever really use it too often, but I just use it for the extra 8% reduction in damage. Fairy's going to probably be upset if I don't give him some credit for this build. He ran slightly different abilities, but he did use Necropotence and Alfiq back in Elsewhere. This is kind of the same setup that he ran, so I can't take full credit for the build. I tweaked it a little bit to make it my own, and I'm using some different things that aren't exactly the same, but a little bit of inspiration from Fairy, so there's his shout out for the video. Let's take a look at the food, which is another important part of the build. Oh my god. Bewitched Sugar Skulls. This is a great food to use for this, because we're not using Bright Throat, so the Tri-Stat food isn't that important. However, the Tri-Stat drink isn't that important. The extra health goes really well. I don't suggest being a vampire and using this, because you're just going to be crippling yourself. I wouldn't even use this food if you're a vampire. Our health reaches just about 960? 956, almost 1,000 health recovery. So that's really good stats, in my opinion. And then if you chose Bloodspawn instead of Shadowrend, you can get your stamina recovery pretty close to 1,000 as well. So almost 1,000 for both health and stamina recovery, and top of your mag recovery goes really well with Tri-Stat potions. The potions that I use are just the Cyrodiil spell pots. They're nothing special. I like to have the extra spell damage when I can get it. Otherwise, I do switch back and forth between a few different pots, like depending on what situation you're in. This is for all-around use. I use Tripots if I'm outnumbered, Immovability if I'm outnumbered, and then getting CC'd constantly. Keeping a good mixture of pots in your toolkit for different situations is something that I suggest a lot of new players try taking advantage of, because the more tools that you have at your disposal, the easier it is for you to maneuver around in 1vx situations. And not necessarily have to be anything special, but just play around with having a couple of different things in your toolkit. And you'd be surprised to see how many fights that you're able to survive longer and possibly even win. So keep in mind just the regular Cyrodiil droughts. Keep a couple of these. Put the maneuverability ones, the health droughts, and they give you that immovability for 10 seconds. I think it's the same, and you'd be surprised. Let's see. Went over the food, went over the pots, skills. We'll go over the champion tree real quick. Let's see. I got my Twitch chat over here in my peripheral vision. I see Fairy typing in there. We have 56 points in the Warlord, 37 points in the Siphoner. I know this is complete cheese, but, this healing meta is ridiculous, so you got to drain some resources somehow. I'm not using magical stamina drain pots. I just use Siphoner. It's only 9%. It's not a huge impact. It's only 3 seconds. Templars will get rid of this anyway, so as long as they just see it, they will cleanse it. 44 into tenacity. Those heavy attacks are really useful, especially with ice staff. You get a little damage shield when you do a heavy ice. 76 into arcanist, boost your recovery as high as it could possibly go. If you wanted to, you could take some out of tenacity and put it in healthy, and you could probably tip over that 1k recovery in your health recovery. 34 and 23. I don't really dodge roll too much. I do streak quite a bit though, so I mean, however you play, if you play stam a lot and you dodge roll, I put more into this if you'd like. I don't really block too much, but since I am using an ice staff, it uses mag, so the reduced cost to magicka, the reduced cost to your magic pool is useful because the ice staff will use magicka instead of stamina when you're blocking. And then into the offensive trees here, we have 56 in the Elfborn, 56 in the Elemental Expert, and 56 in the Spell Erosion. I just made them even. They don't have to be like this. I mean, do what you want with this tree. Some people put less in the Spell Erosion. Some people put even more than that. I think that 56 in all three is just perfectly fine. We don't have too high crit. 20% is plenty. You're kind of eating yourself if you go to 13% because it's not that huge of a difference. So you're better to allocate points elsewhere other than just all in the Elemental Expert. 21% in Staff Expert. I kept it at 13% just in case you wanted to throw Overload on. I keep Meteor on the bar because it's great for burst. Overload's good, but it's in this kind of particular build, unless you can time it well with your elemental drain, it's not very effective. I only use Overload if I'm in like a larger group, maybe 4 or 5 guys. Master at Arms, always 24%. I mean, all of your damage is direct damage. Nothing into this tree. 61 into Ironclad, 38 into Resistant, 34 into Thick Skin, 43 Hardy and Ally Defender, and then 51 into Bastion. I got 19% was a decent amount decent amount of points for damage shield effectiveness. Like I said, it's a 14k damage shield when you have Interlight on your back bar, and it takes a lot of damage. It's a good chunk to your health. And that's it for the CP. I'll do a couple of things in the rotation here for you so you can see how it's set up. What I do is usually I buff up, always have Dark Conversion up, proc that spell, Minor Prophecy, hit a pot, light attack.
I'm not as large factotum, you know.
We're at 30k for DPS. It's not terrible. I mean, it'll go up a little bit when you have other buffs in your party, but when you hit Meteor, that's about, let's see, 30, what did it do? Yeah, that was with Meteor, 34,000 DPS. And that was also right on top of standing right on top of it with Boundless Storm and everything else proccing at the same time. So yeah, it's really good DPS. The burst is awesome. It would be even more too if I was streaking through the dummy, but it's not really that effective since it doesn't move, so I'd just be hitting the wall and it wouldn't show a good video. And the character is... I already forgot what I am. I'm a High Elf. High Elf and then Mage Mundus, just to increase your max magic all the way. Just to show you real quick, if you wanted to swap out for Inner Light, juicy deals. 55k max magic on the back bar, 45% crit heal. So when we look at our Twilight tooltip, 17.67 fat heals. Look at that, 30k heal. And when you're inside a keep with Cyrodiil, that's a 38k heal. Love it. So anyways, that's my updated Battle Mage build for the Dragonhold DLC. I thought it was a great, effective build. It works both in Battlegrounds and in Open World. Give it a try. Let me know what you think, and I will continue to upload more Sorcerer videos as I now have a little bit of time from school. I don't go back until February. And from that, I am out. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the future streams.